Chapter 21. Sri Sadguru said, "A man can earn a rich livelihood through any possible effort, but he should never engage in gambling which spoils himself and others. In this world, people make a living by toil and suffering of different kinds, but the malicious ones cheat them. A gambler deceives the people who are earnest in their hard work. He does not have any interest in any sort of labor. He exists supported by gambling, hence he is punishable. An ordinary man who is thus tempted and cheated by a gambler takes interest in gambling. He gets ready even to pledge his wife, like the noble Dharmaputra, despite being very intelligent, courageous, strong, endowed with good conduct, and rich. If a person engages in gambling, he loses everything. He may have to go in exile to the forest like the Emperor Nala. A gambler gets intoxicated and loses the discretion to distinguish between right and wrong. He resembles Balarama, who thus killed his own relative Rukmi. Hence, whatever be the suffering caused by poverty, a determined person should never resort to gambling. Long ago, in the holy city of Jagannathapuri, there was a king named Satvika. He was deeply devoted to the holy feet of Sri Jagannatha. He had true reverence for the Brahmanas. He was well versed in the different aspects of Rajadharma like Sama, Dana, Veda, and Danda. He was firmly rooted in truth and righteousness. He was a true warrior and who took all efforts to protect his subjects. That determined man used to take in the most pious prasadam of Lord Jagannatha daily before his first meal. Though he possessed all noble qualities and was keen in following the Dharma, he was whiling away his entire time in gambling. He did not give up gambling even after he was repeatedly advised to that effect by his ministers, his wife, the Vaishnavas, and other elders. Once the king, despite being a bhakta, forgot even visiting the Jagannatha temple as he was deeply immersed in gambling. Even then, the loyal priest of the temple came to that place where the king was with the prasadam of Lord Jagannatha. The king was deeply involved in gambling. When he saw the priest, he stretched his left hand to get the prasadam. The brave priest did not give the prasadam in the left hand of the king. He simply returned to the temple. When the game was over, the king became conscious of himself and his surroundings. He came to know how he had abused the prasadam. Immediately he realized his mistake. He became extremely sad. He gave up food and went on lamenting. The king lamented, "Alas, I was caught in the deceitful company of the wicked. Entrapped by the false pleasure of gambling, I committed a sin of abusing the prasadam of Sri Krishna. Though I was advised in many ways by the ministers and my elders, due to the bad company of the malicious, I refused to give up gambling. The prasadam of Lord Vishnu is sought eagerly by the Devas like Brahma, all the seers and the Vaishnavas, but alas, I have brushed it aside as I am a sinner. I am punishable for this offense, it is certain. Now I shall cut my left hand off with this sword." Sri Sadguru said, having spoken thus with unlimited self-pity, the determined king held the sword high up in order to cut his left hand off. At that time, Lord Jagannatha appeared there as a Vaishnava. With soothing words, he prevented the king from doing that. Sri Bhagavan said, "O king, do not cut your hand off, as you have to protect Dharma. The sadhus live on this earth depending on this hand of yours only. You develop this anger and divert it towards gambling and the gamblers. Console yourself and be at peace." Sri Sadguru continued. Getting this advice, the king took an oath to give up gambling. Sri Jagannatha, the lord of goddess Lakshmi, gave him darshan in his true form and made him extremely happy and then disappeared. From that day, giving up gambling, the king spent all his time in Hari Kirtan. Sadhus should abstain from gambling that causes the destruction of one's wisdom, intelligence, wealth, and dharma. Thus ends chapter 21, entitled Satvikaraja Charitam of Book 7 of Sri Vaishnava Samhita, composed by Shri Krishna Premi Swamigal.